Today's knife is probably the least popular out of all the iconic Benchmade 940's. Hey, I'm Jay, and if you're looking to buy a knife and you need to see what it's like first before you drop your hard-earned money on it, here's what you got to do. Click on subscribe so I can help you, and remember to click that bell notification so you don't miss a thing. All of the specs that you're currently looking at right now, I had personally measured myself. This is the Benchmade 943 Osborne, and why don't we go ahead and quickly just take care of those size comparisons, and we'll start out with a zero tolerance, the ZT 0450, and how about the Kershaw Skyline, of course, Spyderco PM2, and let's stick with the Spyderco theme for a second with the Endura 4. And one more should probably take care of it. This is the Kaiser bag lighter. So essentially, the Benchmade 943 is exactly the same as the 940. It just has a different blade shape. That's it. I mean, you're still looking at that 3.4-inch flat ground and clip point instead of that reverse tanto. Now this one does feature the black DLC finish, and of course the blade steel is still going to be S30V. Fantastic steel. Thickness the same, 2.9 millimeters thick, and now it is a hair wider than the reverse tanto version, the blade, and that's going to be 0.84 inches wide as opposed to the 0.80. The 943 features the exact same thumb stud deployment. Did you catch that action? Look at that. And I'm terrible at flicking these knives open. I always have to give it a little bit of wrist. Not with the 943. Whew. I love it. The AXIS lock studs on here are super comfortable. The action, as you can see, is fantastic. And watch this, watch this. That is right out of the box. It was dropping shut like that. And that's on a blade that's riding on bronze washers. And yet it still drops shut like a ball bearing pivot. Incredible. The centering, oh my, yeah, that is absolutely perfect center. Now there are no sharp edges anywhere on this aluminum handle, which by the way is very, very comfortable, especially with that, see that big kind of palm swell at the top? Oh yeah, that just makes for a very nice purchase. Now, just like the 940, the 943 features just the two areas of jimping. So right here, kind of on this little thumb ramp kind of deal, and then if you flip it over, right there in that choil area. Now, as you can see, I wear medium-sized gloves, and I can fit all four of my fingers on this 4.47-inch handle. Now, the handle scales, they really have that, it's kind of like that powder coat kind of finish feeling to them, if you know what I'm talking about. And that really does provide just some excellent traction. I mean, this thing is going nowhere in your hand. Now, if we look at the back, you can see it is, for the most part, it's going to be all closed construction with still that same like titanium strip. The 943 is very pocket friendly with a closed width of 1.07 inches. That is phenomenal. And a handle thickness the same as the 940 at 0.41 inches. Now, I have to admit, I do prefer this pocket clip over that split arrow one, but I really do wish that this rode just a little bit deeper. I know a lot of you like that, to have that little bit to grab onto to pull this out of your pocket, and I can totally understand that. But for me, I just wish that it would ride just a little bit deeper. Now, this clip, it's going to be just the tip up only for righties. Hey, look at that! We got some lefty love, yes, for lefties as well. Thank you, Benchmade. I'm going to go ahead and grab the scale so I can show you exactly how much this thing is going to weigh you down. Now, before I go ahead and toss this up on the scale, I just kind of want to show you this does have some steel liners there on the inside, and I'm looking for any kind of like milling or anything, which I do not see. I don't know how possible it would be with this design, but let's see how that affects the weight. Wow, 2.7 ounces, which is going to be roughly the equivalent of 3 AA batteries, or 1 ZT0450. Now, as you might have guessed, now this type of quality does not come cheap, and you're looking at this version with the black coated blade is going to be $195. Now, you can get the satin bladed version, and that one's going to run around $180. Now, unfortunately, as with all knives, we do have to talk about some of the potential deal breakers. Before we do, I just want to quickly remind you to go ahead and click on that subscribe button if you're looking for knife reviews that get right to the point. So, not many deal breakers with the 943 at all, but the first one is going to be for those of you that have dry hands, like myself. With this kind of like powdery coat on the handle, if you have really dry hands, that dead skin is going to show up really, really easily on the scales. The pocket clip. Now, this is just a minor gripe, but it is still a gripe, and it's going to be regarding, well, the fact that it's not deep carry, but also how much room that this clip takes up on the handle. I mean, I like to have my pocket clips, take up 50% or less of the scale, and you can see that this one is a little bit over 50%. So I do wish that this had a smaller clip on there. And the last potential deal breaker is going to be, well, the price. I mean, $195. That is a lot of money for aluminum and S30V blade steel. Now, I have previously reviewed another version of this knife, and the 940-2, which really it's the reverse tanto blade with G10 scales as opposed to the aluminum. If at the end of this video you click up here in the corner, you can watch my full review on the Benchmade 940-2. So where does that leave us here with this? Well, let's talk about that. If you're like me and you're not a fan of the reverse tanto shape, then this makes perfect sense, obviously, to purchase. Now, I know $195, that is just a lot of money. I mean, especially nowadays, 195 bucks, let's just say 200, that gets you a whole bunch of good quality knives, definitely more than just one. But let me say this does feel It feels and operates like a $195 knife. It really does. I mean, you can just feel the quality in the materials and the engineering. You know, just a few minutes after you get it out of the box, you'll be, oh yeah, that's good. And it really is. So it's really tough for me to recommend a knife that is this expensive, but I gotta be honest with you guys, it really is, it's worth it, because it is just fantastic. This makes one of the best light duty gentleman's carry knives.